In this video, we are going to join the Windows 10 workstation to our domain. First, ensure that the workstation and the domain controller VMs are started. Next, open the workstation VM. Open the Start menu. Click on Settings. Click on System. Scroll down a bit and click About. Scroll down and click on Rename this PC button. The current PC name is Desktop, followed by randomly generated characters. I am going to type the PC name based on our naming convention. You can go back to the related lesson to refresh your memory. So I will begin with the country code US for United States, followed by the city code WA for Washington, D.C. The site code will be B. I will type WS for workstation, dash, and I give a sequential number. Click Next. The new computer name will take effect after restarting the system. So click Restart Now button. I'm going to open my session. Now I am going to check the new computer name by opening the Start menu, Settings, click on System, click About. The new PC name is now effective. Our next step will consist of joining the workstation to the domain. On the same window, go and click on System Info. Click on Change Settings. Then click on Change button. Select Domain and I will type the domain name corp.zintech.com. Click OK to validate. We get an error message stating that the domain corp.zintech.com could not be contacted. Ensure that the domain name is typed correctly. So, first thing to do when getting this error is to check if we have correctly typed the domain name. I will switch to the domain controller VM. On the server manager, I will click on Local Server to display the associated information. You can see the domain we have typed is correct. The second thing we must check is the network connectivity between the workstation and the domain controller by doing a ping test. Open the command prompt. Type ping followed by the DC IP. The server reply to the ping. If there is no reply from the server, it could be due to a physical network issue. Either the workstation or the server is not correctly connected to the local network. Or it could be the server firewall dropping the IP packets sent by the workstation. So disable the server's firewall to confirm this assumption. The next verification I am going to do is doing a ping on the domain name corp.zintech.com to see if the DNS server is correctly resolving this name to the IP address. And here is the issue. The ping could not find the domain controller because the DNS server is unable to resolve the domain name. We can confirm that by issuing the nslookup command. By typing nslookup corp.zintech.com. You can see in the command result that the server with this name and the IP address 192 168.1.1 is trying to resolve the domain DNS name, and it fails. And it is failing because this DNS server IP address is the IP of my Wi-Fi router. You can see that by typing the ipconfig.all command. For some reason, and I think this is a bug in VirtualBox, my VM is assigned the Wi-Fi router IP address as a DNS server instead of domain controller server, which is also the DNS server on our network. So to fix that situation, I need to manually assign the DNS server IP address. So open the settings window, go back to the home page, click on Network and Internet. Click on Ethernet, change adapter options. Right-click on the Ethernet adapter icon. Click Properties. Select Internet Protocol version 4 and click on Properties button. Select Use the following DNS server address and type the DNS server IP 10.10.10.10. I will go back to the command prompt and run the ping command again. And now the ping command succeeds finding the domain name. So I will go back and try to join the workstation to the domain. And this time I am getting prompted by the domain controller to enter the credentials of an account with permission to perform this operation. I will type the domain administrator account username and password to complete this operation. I get the welcome domain message. The computer was successfully joined to the domain. Now I need to restart the computer in order to apply the changes. Click OK. Close the System Properties window. Click Restart Now. After the computer has restarted, I will open a domain session. I will click on Other User. I can see here that I am going to sign in to Syntec domain. So I will type the username, administrator. But by doing that, the sign in to indicator has changed to the computer name. This is because with the administrator username, you must clarify whether you want to open a session with the local administrator account or with the domain administrator account. To use the domain administrator account, I must precede the username with the domain BIOS name, Syntec /administrator. And now I am going to sign in to the Syntec domain. I will type my password and open my session. To check that my computer is now joined to the Syntec domain, I will open the Settings panel. Click About. Click on System Info. You can see that my computer is now part of the domain corp.syntec.com. I can also check that on the domain controller. On the Server Manager, open the Tools menu and click on Active Directory Users and Computers. Click on the domain node to see the organizational units. Click on Computers. I can see that the computer has been joined to the domain.